Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. So today we are going to be talking about Team Liquid because so far they've had a very interesting season. If you look all the way back to lock-in, obviously, and even before lock-in, they were considered the strongest team in North America coming into the year. They had a great offseason. They were already a great team in the LCS the last couple of years. Obviously, Liquid has been one of the best, if not the best team pretty much every year for the last, 3-4 years at this point, something crazy like that. And they had a good offseason where they got what most people think was maybe the best jungler in the LCS in Santorin. They got one of the best top laners in the West in Alfari. And then obviously they took that into a lock-in title over Cloud9, which was great. But then the spring split came around. They started off a little bit slow. Tactical's talking about burnout. Different players are not looking so hot here and there. So a lot of really weird stuff. And they found themselves a little bit over 500, sitting in the middle of the pack, like 5th place or something. And then CoreJJ tweeted out, no joke, we are going to finish spring season 13-5. And that has then, since then, been a topic of discussion for a lot of people saying, like, Team Liquid is talented enough to do this, but they haven't been playing great. But yeah, are they just going to start winning out? Are they just going to start winning like crazy? In this video today, we're going to be going over how things been going for Liquid lately, what CoreJJ and some of the other guys are saying about all this stuff, and just how things are going in the LCS overall, because it's turned into a pretty crazy split, all things considered. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys have not already, please take a second, smash that like button. I would appreciate it so much. It really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm, getting our videos out to more and more people, helping us grow, and just spread the word. That would be absolutely awesome. It's a easy and great way to help support my channel and my content if you're interested in doing that. Also, subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. With that being said, again, CoreJJ was talking about them finishing 13-5. At that point, it was them winning out, not losing any more games. And that does seem crazy, especially for a team that was, 6-5 maybe when they tweeted this out, maybe 7-5. Team Liquid has not had a great record throughout the spring split most of the time. But obviously some confidence from CoreJJ. And their team, again, is definitely talented enough to win out. I do still think they are the most talented team on paper in the LCS, even though they haven't always looked like it. But I also believe that the spring regular season doesn't mean that much. Best of ones don't mean that much. So I'm not really too concerned for Team Liquid. I'm a little bit concerned because it's just weird that they have such weird drafts, that they drop random games to bad teams. But what you going to do? But anyway, coming into week 5, they had a very big matchup with Cloud9. And obviously they were able to take them down. And afterwards, CoreJJ got the interview where he had a chance to talk with Tigris about his tweet a little bit and just kind of talk about what was going on.
Multiple players on Team Liquid have said that you all don't necessarily care as much about your record for the regular season, but rather preparing for playoffs. How are you all approaching these last handful of games to best prepare yourself?
And I think that's a very good mindset. I do think that's how kind of most people feel. The meme is like from Double If saying spring split doesn't matter. And really, no regular season matters too much. Unless you're a team that's like teetering in the playoffs. But come summer playoffs, 8 teams make it in the spring. 6 teams make it. The bottom of the LCS is so weak right now that, if you are a good solid team, especially a team like Team Liquid, as talented as they are, you're not really concerned about not making the playoffs. And then once you get in the playoffs, to go to MSI, you got to get first anyway. You have to beat all the other teams anyway, so your seeding, all that stuff, shouldn't really matter too much. So the regular season is all about improving, getting better, limit testing, trying stuff out, and just being ready for the playoffs, however, mentally, physically, however you have to prepare. So I don't think it's that weird that Team Liquid, again, is dropping games in regular season, that they're saying that they're not concerned, that they're saying they're just getting ready for playoffs. I think that's very normal. I think more players and pros kind of take it that way than maybe most people would expect or maybe even know.
I feel like I do care about a little bit, and then I think our five losses was maximum loss we could get. So that's why I said we're gonna do 13-5. Like you already lost the 5 games. It is enough for Team Liquid. We're not gonna lose anymore.
5 is more than enough. You're on it.
So I did at least love the confidence from CoreJJ there. Obviously, again, he had that tweet. They go and play Cloud9, who at the time that they played him, and even still to this day, was the #1 team in the LCS. They had the best record. They were looking good. They've been beating a lot of teams. They looked like the best team in the LCS in the regular season. Since the lock-in tournament, Cloud9 has been the best team. And obviously, Team Liquid coming into the game, talking like they're going to beat them, then they do beat them. He has no reason to not be confident afterwards. So far, so good. So far, CoreJJ was looking like a prophet. If they took down the hardest team in the LCS, the best team in the LCS, and they're talking about going undefeated the rest of the season, they have an opportunity to do that. They might be able to do it, but unfortunately for them, they ran into CLG, and we're going to go over the highlights from this game. This is obviously CLG with Pobelter back in the mid lane. It's also CLG who people were talking about, oh, CLG miracle run, but they are eliminated from the spring playoff contention. But again, spring record does carry on to the summer. So a team like CLG who has a chance to not make that top 8, as I was talking about how easy it is to make it in the summer playoffs since there is top 8. CLG is a team who maybe might not make the top 8. They need to win as many games as they can. They also have been looking better since they've gotten Broxa in for longer, since they've gotten Pobelter back. And again, while they are eliminated from the spring playoffs, they're still kind of a scary team right now. And in this one, you can see they did go with the Cho'Gath in the top lane for Finn, which a little bit different pick, maybe something that TL isn't super practiced against, and also something that I think a lot of people do believe is pretty underrated in the meta right now. Then we go down to the bot lane where TL has the Nautilus and the Tristana, which is a very, very scary 2v2 lane. And then you got to think that's Tactical and CoreJJ too. They do get the engage onto Smoothie with the Leona. Tactical does flash in, get the first blood on to actually Nautilus gets first blood onto Leona, but Tactical is able to jump away. So a good start for TL, and that was also really, really crazy because I believe up to that point CLG had 14 straight first bloods, which is just a crazy stat, especially for a 3-11 team. But Team Liquid was finally able to get a first blood against them. They turned it into an early dragon, but CLG would fight back. There they get the ult out of Santorin, they get the flash out of Jensen on the Syndra. If you've ever played Syndra without flash, it's very, very not fun. Smoothie with the Leona engage in. This is just a crazy extended fight. So many TPs coming in. Jensen's the first one down. Pobelter does get a kill there, so they tied up 1-1. TL gets the Drake, but it's okay. Then Alfari was coming in on the flank. He was walking down from top lane. He just ends up in the middle of 5 people. So it goes from like a 1-for-1 trade to a 2-for-1 trade. Really, really strange death there by Alfari. He does burn his flash as well. Super not good. 13 minutes in, TL is able to get their second Drake of the game, so they're stacking that up, working towards that soul. Alfari looking like he's in trouble again, obviously, with Lilia, Brox on the Lilia up there. He does get put to sleep, but he's able to just orange out of it. But then Smoothie's there as well, but Alfari uses the ult. He gets out of it fine, but, CLG is kind of applying some pressure to him. They are trying to make some things happen up in the top lane. 17 minutes in, gold is pretty much dead even, but TL with those 2 Drakes, that seems to be a pretty significant advantage at this point. There is Broxa kind of cheesing in the bush there. Does get the 2-man sleep. Leona does then land the ult onto Jensen. He goes down. That feels bad for Syndra. And then, that's just a nice play by CLG. They were able to get TL to face check that bush and then punish them accordingly. Really, really nice play set up by CLG there. Honestly, TL maybe, shouldn't be face checking like that, but what are you going to do? Then we go to 18 minutes into the game. CLG's only up 400 gold, so it's 3-1, but the gold is still very, very close. 2 towers to 2 towers. TL starting up potentially their third Drake of the game. Smoothie starts out this fight by just getting absolutely caught out, just way, way too far forward. But CLG 4v5, they're down to still fight it. They have obviously the Cho'Gath ultimate that can just steal away the dragon if stuff gets too crazy. So TL makes sure to get aggressive onto Finn. Obviously they got to get that Cho'Gath out of there. Pobelter picks up a kill onto Santorin as well, and this is just going really, really well for CLG all of a sudden. Wild Turtle kind of ends up in an awkward spot, but Jensen's not in a great spot either. He is able to get a kill back onto Broxa, but then Pobelter will be able to clean up another one. A full ace for CLG. They are now up like 1,400 gold. That was a pretty crazy play where Pobelter ends up 5-0 after all is said and done. This is a guy who was benched at the beginning of the season. They had an academy mid laner playing over him. He's trying to prove that he still belongs in the LTS. He's trying to prove that he belongs on CLG. And hopefully he's here to stay, for the near future. 22 minutes in, CLG's up like 2k gold. They are able to just get a random Baron, which is obviously really, really great for them. And now all of a sudden they are in the driver's seat. Team Liquid is in trouble. Alfari looking like he's caught out again. Leona gets the ult onto him, doesn't get the stun, but does get the slow, and they are able to pick up a free kill. All of a sudden, CLG is up 9-4, 23 minutes in. Ever since TL got that first blood, really nothing went their way the rest of the game. And again, CLG, they've been looking like a decent team recently. When they have their full roster, they're definitely not like the worst team in the league. Still super, super weird for Team Liquid coming off a win against Cloud9. Were they just overlooking CLG? Did they put all their preparation into C9 this week? Who knows? But Pobelter's able to pick up another kill. We didn't really get to see it. because observers, have not been great recently. LCS, not gonna lie, but just another huge play for CLG. Pobelter just absolutely dominated this game. It was super crazy. Here's a really nice flank by so many CLG members coming in. Like Team Liquid is just way overextended here. Tactical is able to get away for a little bit, but Wild Turtle picks up the kill. Just a 1-for-0 for CLG right now, but still just another kill, another advantage. They're gonna go do another Baron. They have the Cho'Gath, they have the Smite. They just have so many tools, and it's gonna be hard for TL to stop at 4v5. But TL needs to contest. They can't just keep giving away everything forever. They are able to pick up a kill on a Smoothie. It seemed like he was constantly, maybe not in the best positions, but still only 4v4. Still have the Cho'Gath, and they are able to turn that into a Baron. Santorin does get caught out. He does go down. 12-5 now in the kills for CLG. They're up 6k gold at 30 minutes, and it's not looking good for Team Liquid. Obviously, they still need to close it out. They are able to pick up another kill under CoreJJ there. And it's just really getting out of control. It's really just getting out of hand. 7-0 Pobelter on the Lucian. I mean, that's just crazy. Again, this is a guy who was playing in Academy just a couple of weeks ago. And CLG's a team, they were like, what? They were like 1-9, 1-10, something crazy like that. And all of a sudden, they're 3-11. All of a sudden, they have a 7,000 gold lead against Team Liquid, who just beat Cloud9 at 31 minutes. I mean, this really makes no sense. And then here we go. CLG trying to make their last little push into the base. Pobelter actually gets caught out. Huge shutdown. Again, he was like 7-0 at this point. So that's great for CLG, or great for Team Liquid, but they're still down like 6k. It's just kind of delaying the inevitable at that point. They're going to need to get that pick like 2 or 3 more times to really have a chance to, win the game more than just like prolong it or delay it. Finn is just huge on this Cho'Gath. I mean, he's like very fed, but also just very large. Wild Turtle doing a ton of damage. They just kind of blow up CoreJJ there. They are now sitting 4v5. They're in a good position, hoping to be able to crack open this Team Liquid base soon, though, because again, they still don't even have any inhib towers or anything down. But they're up 7k gold, but I guess they're just going to go grab the Ocean Soul 35 minutes in. That should help out a lot. That should make it a little easier. But CLG, they're going to get to their 3rd Baron. I mean, I feel like their lead was so big, it really shouldn't have taken all this stuff, but they're playing it slow. They're playing it safe. They're playing it smart. Now they're going to start pushing in. Now they're going to start cracking the base, pick up an easy inhib tower there, get the mid inhib. They still obviously have the pressure in the top lane with Pobelter. He's 7-1. Nobody can match him. So they're trying to push multiple waves at the same time, playing some decent macro. CLG has a ton of veterans. They should be a pretty solid team as far as like making plays and stuff. Finn comes running in on the Cho'Gath so fast. He's not able to get on anybody, but they are able to take the inhib tower. They then eventually do get onto Santorin, but he's fast. He just kind of runs away. Unfortunately for CoreJJ, he ends up in a weird spot. Santorin, kind of a desperation play. They got to go sometime or they're just going to lose their whole base. He decides to go in. He goes down. CLG keep pushing in the base. They are about 38, 39 minutes in, are going to take down Team Liquid. And again, CoreJJ, who's tweeting about they're going to go 13-5. They're not going to lose any more games. He has this interview talking about how he does care about their wins and losses, how they don't expect to lose any more games the whole year. They just beat Cloud9. They're riding that high. They're riding that wave. All of a sudden loses CLG, and all of a sudden they are 9-6. The 13-5 dream is no more. And dude, the LCS is just so weird. This weekend was so weird. Dignitas beats TSM. TSM beats Cloud9. Liquid beats Cloud9. CLG beats Liquid. Like, so weird. And honestly, it has me really worried because none of these teams are really looking that clean. None of these teams are looking consistently good. Obviously, again, things can change in playoffs. Best of fives are a whole different ballgame, but it definitely has me worried for MSI. A little bit scared that North America is gonna go and just get trounced. Like, I don't know. I feel like the LCS is not super strong this year. A lot of these teams aren't super consistent, and if you want to have a chance to be good internationally, you got to kind of dominate and stuff. And Cloud9 was doing that for a while. They were sitting like 10-2, something like that. But all of a sudden, they're 11-4. They dropped 2 games this weekend to TSM and Team Liquid are 2 solid teams, but they had a crazy lead against TSM that they threw. And then Liquid, obviously, they just lost to CLG, so maybe they're not even that hot right now anyway. It's just super weird stuff going on. But I just did think it was interesting that Team Liquid was coming on strong, then they're losing. So I don't really know what to make of any of these teams right now. But in the end, I do still think Team Liquid is the strongest team on paper. I still think they're going to be fine headed into the playoffs. But Cloud9, Cloud9's looking good. Dignitas looking good. Team Liquid's looking good. TSM's looking good. It's going to be a fun playoffs. That I do know for sure. But that is pretty much it for today's video, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about the LCS right now? What do you think about Team Liquid? Are they the best team headed into the playoffs? Are they second favorites? Are they like third, fourth? Is Cloud9 the best? I'd love your guys' thoughts and opinions on anything we talked about in today's video. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.